He's one of America's most recognizable faces in weather, and today Jim Cantore joins us to talk about different kinds of weather conditions and vehicle safety. October is National Car Care Month, and Jim says it is the perfect time for a few weather checklist items to ensure your vehicle is safe for these weather conditions. Thanks for joining me today, Jim.
Hey, Adam, thanks for having me. It's kind of hard to think of October weather when it feels like August outside, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As warm as it is. But I want you to remember three main things here, okay? Brakes, battery, and blades. The three Bs, as I like to call them. Obviously, the blades are really crucial because if you can't see, you're in big trouble. I love this Bosch Icon wiper blade with this rubber technology they call ClearMax 360. It really does a great job. I have these blades, completely cleans my windshield regardless of what's going on. And this time of the year, you know, it's not just showers and thunderstorms like we're used to in the summer. We have more large-scale weather features that come through. It can rain for a day, day and a half. Sometimes we get a period of drizzle between two storm systems. So you can get these longer periods, if you will, of precipitation. The other thing, too, if you've got great working brakes, it really doesn't matter if you don't have treads. You can do this little thing called the penny test. So take the penny, turn it upside down, let Lincoln look at you, and stick Lincoln's head here in the tread in a few different spots. And if you can still see all of his head, you don't have enough tread. So no matter how good your brakes are, you're not going to be able to brake properly with no tread. These tires are fine. They're going to allow the vehicle to do what it's meant to do, especially with the ABS systems now in cars, and brake should you have to brake quickly, which we know when it gets wet, sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, that's a great advice. And being here in Louisiana, I mean, we see rain here year-round. Sometimes we actually do see some ice as well. We can't rule out some snow, but what can people do to prepare for some of these rain events that we see and even some of the icing that we may see in the winter?
Well, you know, Adam, this is the time of the year where people travel a little bit longer. They have their whole family in the car. They're going on longer trips to see family and friends for the holidays. You know, hopefully this will never be an issue, but if you're going on a longer trip, especially during the middle of the winter, put some blankets in your car. Put some non-perishable foods in the car as well. And on the day you leave, put some water in there. Because if there is an accident that occurs, now you're going to have a reason, obviously, or ways, if you will, to keep yourself warm. You're going to have a snack for the kids, something to drink, because it can be long hours on the road waiting for them to clear that accident. And make sure you keep your car filled above a half a tank. That is really key, because if you run out of gas out there in the middle of winter, that just sets the whole trip off on the wrong foot, and that's not what anybody wants.
Yeah, and then one last question here before we go. It seems like every year whenever the Farmer's Almanac winter forecast comes out, everyone seems to go a little crazy. This year they have us forecasted for chilled to the bone and wet conditions. What are your thoughts on this winter's outlook for us here?
Well, we don't have big players like El Nino or La Nina. I definitely think a safe forecast is it's going to be colder than it was last year, especially not having El Nino or a strong El Nino at that. But the big question is, when does that cold kick in? And I think for the first couple of months, I think this ridge is going to hold on in the south for the first couple of months, potentially right in through December. And maybe by the time we start January 2017, the bottom will drop out. So make sure your car is ready. Make sure you can see out that window if you're heading out, especially for a long trip.
All right, Jim. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thanks for having me, Adam. I appreciate it, bud.
Yep, no problem.